Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Um, this past week has been interesting. I gave you the report like literally right after my last meet. Well, the next day I woke up and my glutes were so sore. So clearly there's some specific strength things that I'm missing. But regardless, I talked to my coach a lot about the issues I was having last week, and we came up with like a plan, an idea. Let's try this out. And turns out he was right. So some of the injuries and the issues that I've been dealing with all of last year made it to where I'm not pushing out as much off of just any one of my steps. So that's where a lot of those 5 missing feet went on my approach. It's where the speed has gone. That's why it looks so off. When you go slower, you can go like deeper into the curve and come back out of it on a parallel angle. And like that, I think was a lot of my issues last week. It's like I was too far away. I was coming in too parallel. I didn't have enough energy because honestly, it's energy in equals energy out. If you're 100% efficient, that is. And no one is. But if you don't have as much energy to put in, then you're definitely not going to jump as high. So I, um, I worked on Well, first off, I ran with the team and they were running 150s on Monday. So I ran 4 150s on Monday and they were fast. I mean, especially fast since I don't run that often. Especially because last year with my injuries, I couldn't run. Um, so this whole past fall, I was just trying to even begin to run again. Like, let's just get back on my feet in the running manner while they're all doing, coach keeps bringing it up, they're all doing fall training and you're not. That's why they can do these workouts and you can't. Well, I'm also only like 2 weeks into actually doing running workouts. So I only did 4 150s. And they were like, he was saying 21 and 22 when we were passing the line. So I would say that that was relatively fast. My legs were pretty dead at the end, and my lungs, I think, were the worst part. Because, like, my legs are generally better than my lungs most of the time. It's always been that way ever since I was, I don't know, born. Anyway, so I ran and then I lifted, and my lift did go better than last week, but there's still some improvements that I need to make on my absolute strength first. So then, after getting through the first part of the week, we had Tuesday as jump day. That went okay, but I was still missing stuff, the approach. But I had dead legs and I was trying really, really hard. And that's whenever we came up with the idea of like, well, you need to do even more curve stuff. Like, not just like curve drills, not like running in like small circles or whatever. Um, I needed to get more comfortable running on the curved lanes of the track. So let's see, Wednesday was an aqua day. So that was a bunch of like pool plyometrics. I always feel so good after Wednesday's workout. Pool days always make me feel good. Um, so Thursday rolls around. It's pre-meet day because I competed on Friday. This is actually super early for me. This is like 8 a.m. on Saturday when I'm making this because I got in at like midnight, 1 o'clock last night. So yeah, it was just when it lined up. But yeah, so Thursday I did several curves, and the whole time it felt like I was just trying to almost bound around the curve, just feeling out that push, uh, and then also like catching on the outside foot, and then also pushing off of my right foot. Surprisingly, my left foot didn't feel that awful as far as pushing off of it. And it's like, this is crazy because I've had so many issues with it lately. And I know it's just running, and I've been running with a team, but it's like a different kind of run. Um, Whenever you're high jumping versus whenever you're running to run, it is slightly different. There's different goals you're trying to make. So Kitty's playing. Yeah, so it was almost like bounding, and it definitely helped out a lot with uh, if I had any anxiety with it or apprehension just inherently. I think it did help solve some of it because after I did like three of those, I went over to my approach and I did maybe three approaches. I might have gone over like a 5 foot bungee while the guys were doing Deshaun's or something, but um, it felt good. I was like, I'm not far off from where I need to be actually jumping from. Like this is good. Like I used my 12 foot out, 53 feet back mark, and I'm like, it's out a little, but I'm not experiencing all of the awful issues that I had last weekend. So I'm like, well, this is promising. So go into the meet, and I competed at not University of Indiana, Indianapolis, the Fall Creek Pavilion. I think it was like Crossroads of America this weekend. Anyway, so I competed there, and our start time was 7:10. So I get there about 2 hours before, get settled, find out where everything is, get checked in, all that, find out our clerking time, and then I just slowly do my warm ups. And it got to the point where it's like, well, I did my quarter mile, my leg swings, my dynamic, did a little bit of yoga, and I'm spending like 5 minutes in between, and I still have plenty of time. So then I'm like, well, no, coach was also talking about doing bounding work. We were talking about it in the pool and how it felt to push off of it, and it's like, oh, it feels great in the pool. But then in real life, I think there is a little bit of apprehension. So that's whenever I'm like, today I have to push it. So let's see how my foot handles pushes. So it ended up probably being like 8 bounding alternate. I didn't have a lot of space. So it's not like I did like 8 to 10 bounds each time. I'd say it was more like maybe five before I ran out of space. And I didn't use speed because I knew if I used speed and bounding, there was no saving it because, well, there'd be no doing it because there's just not that much space where, all the sprinters and hurdlers are taking the blocks and the lanes in the back, and that leaves about a 30-meter cushy place for the rest of us. So I'm using that little spot. And the first one, I could tell my body was adjusting in order to compensate for something, but I had no pain. So I'm like, all right, I have to like put myself back in the position that I need to be because apparently my body's scared. So then I repositioned, I like reset, repositioned, I took the power level down, right? And I just pushed through like some kind of baby bounds, and that was okay. So then I built it back up from there to like real bounds, and it felt good. It felt really good actually. So I'm really, really happy with how that session turned out. And then, it's time for us to be taken out, except for they're not done with the men's 60s. We end up starting our event about 45 minutes late. I think it was like 7:55, scheduled for 7:10. So we started that late, and so that whole time we're just like waiting in the clerking area. So I was just standing around for half an hour. So if I lost anything and needed a bit of a recovery time frame, I got it then. Um, yeah, so I think I had a decent prep. I had a good mindset going in. But now is time to actually show you some videos. So now I'm like 10 minutes into this, and I'm finally going to start showing you videos. But there's just so much work that goes into the high jump, like just preparing for it. So figured I'd start there because I feel like that part is skipped. All right, so I do have some warm up videos. I'm not going to spend near as much time on them as I did last week, mainly because it's like, well, I had the pop again. Let's see, where is it? I don't know what this is, honestly. I asked him for like much higher bars. I was like, go like 5'9" on the sides or something. But then he wouldn't move the bungee. So it's like he'd move the side guides, but not the bungee. So who knows where that even is on the side. But regardless, I liked how I was getting in relatively close. I mean, I'm out a little bit, but then I had a lot of, well, that's a bad angle there, but I'm a little past the toe off. The frame's not exactly perfect, but Yeah. Anyway, I had to pop again. So I was pretty happy about that. I didn't have to stay focused as much on the mid mark. I put it out here. Let's see. I think it is this one because there's like a pink and a purple one. There's a pink and a purple one, and then mine's like that big one. So if we kind of move it here, it's like I I was actually getting very consistent with hitting that mid mark, and that's in line with my left foot. So if my left foot was down, it'd be right on top of it. So my right foot's down, so it's about 6 inches to the side. That's literally the only reason is because I mean, that tape mark, the tape measure, right? It goes right back and it's aligned with my left foot. So if I put any other tapes on it, it's my left foot, but that step is my right. So anyway, I've been getting very consistent with that. And even last week, it's like I was moving in the back, but I wasn't moving that tape mark in the front around. So I was decently consistent with the tape mark. Um, Found that out in practice too, where it's like every single time I was basically hitting my tape mark. So it's like I knew it wasn't something in the back. And that's why it's like then I started looking at these steps and at practice and last week I'm like, "Oh my gosh, those steps are so cut. Like they are so small. It's almost like a slightly bigger stutter." So it's like you can't really notice that it's a stutter because it's all right, anyway, these are warm ups. You can tell I'm wearing my tank top, but regardless, the whole time I'm just happy that I'm hitting speed and I have a little bit of a pop. Um, yeah, so it's like I had a pop. Who knows? Yeah, see, this is probably 5'9" on the sides, but he left the bungee at like whatever this is. So it's like, thanks. On one of them later on, I'm pretty sure I'm like, hey, can you move the bungee? And then he did. Might have been that one. Um, But regardless, I'm just so happy that it's like this curve looks like I'm running again. I'm also so stable out of like the head and the shoulders. Like everything is what I need it to be. A lot more energy in kind of thing. All right, so this is first competition bar. Again, just how smooth that run is. Like that is what does it. Let's see. Speed. Let's go like half speed. At least there. Yeah. So a good push out that third tape mark. I'm actually maybe a little past it, but just such a smooth curve. Yeah, I am a little bit past it, but I was pushing out hard. Like, I was like, let's get some speed. I want to jump. So then after that, that nice smooth curve. Again, I am maybe a little out where I want to be, but that's not awful, awful. Like, it's not awful as long as the rest of my ankles are okay. Which, okay, so this bar is like approximately 164, which the last two meets I've only jumped 165. But I mean, to be fair, I was also extremely sick for about 2 months there and trying to get over some injuries, so it's okay. But toe off on takeoff, that kind of misses that frame. But it looks as if I'm gonna have a decent shoulder, hip, all the way down to the heel thing. I'm a little early out of the top half, but I bring all the height to the lower half, which is good. And then I'm over. So it's like this is what I was clearing, this bar right here. That's the only thing I was clearing the last couple weeks. So that's how it's like, yeah, I definitely feel like my height and everything, it's all back. My speed is back. That definitely helps out with the height. All right, so Trevor was also videoing from the other side. So I had Sebastian on one and Trevor on the other. Um, yeah, I thought this might be a decent way to see if on my mid mark, so I included that video as well. But it's uh okay, okay. I did maybe break it a little early, but I mean, I felt like I had so much power and height and stuff that like a 165 kind of bar shouldn't be that hard to do. All right, so this would be a 169, I think. Hmm, that one might be a well, I don't think it's in like numerical order, so I don't know what one that one was exactly, but I don't think I missed 169. I don't remember. Maybe I did. All right. Anyway, back to this. This should be the 169 jump. And we've got, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's my tape mark. And I'm still consistently right over it. I put it at like 29 feet. I use my mid mark as my short approach mark. I know a lot of people use their short approach mark as their mid mark. I was talking to Trevor about that yesterday. I was like, well, mine's slightly different, but just how stable I am through the curve, how much it's pushing this takeoff angle back here. This is fantastic. We talked about this last week. I don't like that this shoulder and arm are up in here already. They're a little early, but honestly, this is still a decent. We get some things better, some things still need cleaned up. So up through here, straight line from shoulder down. The drive knee kind of undrives a little early. You see how it kind of kicks out? Not a fan whenever it does that because then it leaves my legs long and down in front of the bar, and I need them not to be long and down in front of the bar. But still plenty of height to make it over this bar. And okay, was gonna say at the next bar, I think I left them in the way a little too long, and I'm starting to get better about the landing. Like I'm not landing on my lower back like it was last week. This week, it's like I'm getting a lot more consistently towards the upper back, but it's not perfect. All right, got a couple videos left. Yeah. Okay, so this would be the 172 bar, and I really like the push out, and I liked the curve a lot. Hey. Okay, so that's Paul Sargent back here, and then that's Jay Arthur. So it's like they were probably watching me jump, which is really nice. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize this kind of tipped over a little bit. Try to pay attention to that. It is maybe a lot of weight. I don't know if I have it screwed in exactly, but all right, anyway. So, all right, back to the curve. Curve is smooth. Getting in here on this takeoff angle, and it like it might be one frame later, but it looked like it was a decent one. I'm collapsing just that tiny bit on that leg. And I mean, the arm was early and the shoulder was early, but oh, here we go. So it's like right at the toe off of takeoff. So by toe off of takeoff, I mean literally like I'm pretty much pirouetting on that toe. So it's like right within a couple inches of that toe leaving the ground. You want to look for that heel all the way up. So it's like this frame actually kind of captured this a lot better. It's like toe off on takeoff, straight line up, which is fantastic. This arm, this head, things are happening a little too early. I don't like that, but I have a good block and drive out of the lower half of me. So that's probably what helps with me clearing the bars because like my head and shoulders, well, they're early, right? They're getting in a little too early. Oh, it's going again. All right, I don't know. I'm guessing it's going down slowly. Rearrange this for a second. I don't think it'll tighten anymore. All right. Hopefully this does a little better. All right. So anyway, I'm pretty sure that's why it's like I'm a little closer out of that side of me, but then because I was so strong out of the legs, like I open up a little bit more height with like my lower back and oh, just barely made that one somehow. Like I don't know why in the background of the videos it's just kind of funny to watch people watching me. All right. I joked around quite a bit with this guy during the meet. It was kind of fun. All right, so this should be 177, which I didn't clear, so should be 3 misses. The first one, I'm not exactly sure what happened. I'm consistently about 1 foot over. I'm pretty sure that one was mine, but if it is that one, then I'm spot on. But I was pretty sure I went pink, purple, me. All right, anyway, um, decent curve. a nice kind of like setup into it. My arm is a little early. Yeah, I'm kind of like leading in a little bit. Like I think this is what Trevor said was, "Hey, you're not driving up as much as you should off the takeoff." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So yeah, that kind of went in maybe a little early. This leg is starting to kick out. You can see the other side of my foot. I feel certain that, yep, see, straight out. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. What that does, by the way, is it flattens my hips while I'm in the air, and then it makes it harder to get over the bar with good form because then my hips are pretty much locked because my legs are heavy in that position versus not as heavy if I leave my knee bent. I try to tell people it's like, why would you hold milk at a straight arm from far away? Why would you do this? Wouldn't it be easier to hold the milk with you bend your elbow? Like a whole gallon of milk, right? Wouldn't you like hold it kind of close to you? You're not going to be holding it at an arm's length all the time when you're just walking around the kitchen. Be dumb. Same thing goes here. My leg, it's heavy in that position. Bend my knee, it's not as heavy. I can work with it. But yeah, my hips get stuck. My upper body is trying to do everything it can, but if my legs and hips are not doing what they should, then they don't get the height that they did. Just like on the earlier bar where I'm like, I'm pretty sure what's going on here is like I had such a good leg setup that it helped give more height to that. And see how after I got like my shoulder dipped down so far, like I couldn't do anything for my hips. Like they just get stuck. They stay relatively flat from there to like 3 frames after. It's because of that leg kick. Yeah, flat and such a small angle that like even here I can't land on my upper back unless my whole body rotates after I've gone past the plane of the bar. Which rotating after, that's not helpful. All right, so we got two more. This one, all right, still a miss, but like clearly I wanted it, as you can tell. Um, got a lot of speed. Yeah, see, consistently right on that other person's mid mark, about 1 foot after mine, which is fine. So then going through the curve. Hey, yeah, Jay's watching. That's nice of him. All right, anyway, a nice setup. We've got the foot, the knee, everything's leaned back. I mean, it's like 1 frame later because you can already see how I'm sort of collapsing into it. Um, I know a lot of people are like you have to be very hit and reactive, and it's like every jumper is slightly different. Some people more power, some people more speed. Things are going to be different for everyone. So then after hitting that spot, which I didn't, yeah, okay, the arm is up way too early. And then cross arm, I don't like it exactly, but like I still had a good knee. I'm trying my best. I'm pretty sure this is the jump right after Trevor's like, you need to like not hit the bar early. Okay, so anyway, we're up. We had height on that one, right? Like this is how I know, like, the pop is definitely coming back, which is great. But now that I have the pop again, I have to learn how to navigate the bar and do the bar mechanics, which is honestly a really fun part of high jumping, is figuring out how to go over the bar. So you see, I do that drive knee a little longer, but then it does look like I put it right straight down again. And when I do that, then my hips get stuck and I can't rotate them. So then I'm flat in the air. Like I had a little bit of a head, like a hip shoulder. I had a small one, but you really can't achieve much of that whenever your hips get stuck. You just can't. That was, I think, my best attempt at the 177 bar. So that's like approximately 5'10". I think 5'10" is technically 178, but yeah, good pushes, good drive. I do feel like I was starting to fatigue. Like this was hard work, especially for like not having pushed like that in a while. But we've got the shoulder all the way through the foot. Everything is lined up nice. The leg is back and low. The arm is back and low. And it's not rotated. It does look like it is a little bit. Again, you don't want to have your arm like open to the side. You want to have it straight back through the shoulder so that way whenever it's time you can pull it right up rather than across your body. All right, so then I am angled. This is like toe off. It does look like I have a straight line, but it does look like I'm already angled at the bar a slight amount. The arm and the head are both at the bar a little bit. And this is early. You see, like you shouldn't be in a back layout that kind of early, I don't think. And I mean, I had most of my body over it. There's only like one frame if I can get it there. Like I didn't touch it with anything until I got my hips stuck. And you see the knee drive goes right into that long leg. It's not as kicky as some of the earlier ones, but not the greatest either. Let's see. I'm pretty sure this takes us back. Yeah, takes us back to warm-ups. I don't remember if it's this one. Well, if it were, it would be the other side, which would be maybe this one. Just wanted to show you. It's like whenever it is the drive knee kicks, sorry, versus, yeah, kicks versus not kicks. This is the 164 bar that I'm like, yeah, that drive knee gives a lot of power and gives a lot of height to the lower back. It's like, yeah, so that's what that leg is supposed to look like for me anyway, is more like this, where it's like it drives up and it stays relatively bent. It's not straight down in any of these. I want it to stay relatively bent. All right. Well, that's actually the end of the videos that I've got for you today. I didn't have anyone send me any videos to analyze, which is strange because I normally get something every few days from someone. But it's the start of indoor season, so maybe people will be sending me stuff here soon. As far as my training goes, um my goal is to keep pushing myself with running, getting that back up because clearly that's going to translate right over to things that I need to upkeep in my jump. On Tuesdays with jump day, instead of doing a lot of pop kind of drills, I'm going to be doing sorry, kitties. I'm going to try to put in more overbar technique kind of drills. And it's like, yeah, I do a fantastic job with backovers, but there's a whole slew of other bar mechanic drills that I could be doing that would help me stay off of my feet and not make that problem worse. That would also help me out a ton with my over bar mechanics, just like keeping that in line. Outside of that, I'm planning to keep pushing myself. I actually don't know what meet I've got this upcoming weekend. I've got it all written down on my schedule. It's just I stay focused on one weekend at a time when it comes to indoor season. And so clearing 173 is great. It's helping me get my confidence back. It's helping me overcome some of my injuries and get back into it. I'm very happy about this past weekend. I definitely needed a little confidence boost. I'm excited about next weekend. Um, I'm hopeful that it goes well. And let's see. I think it's 178 that I need to clear in order to make it to the USA indoors. So that's kind of my indoor goal. And right after I clear 178, I'm pretty sure it's like but it might actually be 178 for outdoor as well. But if it's not, it's probably 180. So right after I clear the 178 bar, I'm gonna move the bar up to 180. As long as I'm the only person left, that is, and I'm allowed to do that, then I'll do that. Um, yeah, I had a great time in this competition. There were 20 to 25 of us, kind of in that range. I think I ended up placing fourth, which at a 5'8" bar, that makes sense. The next bar up, the one that I missed 3 times, that's the one that actually won the meet. So it's not like I was super far off. I honestly, on my second attempt, I almost had it. So, yeah. So I think getting it on my second attempt would clearly have moved me up in the ranking, probably to second, I think. So even clearing that next bar, if I had done it on my first attempt, um, it would have gone down to scratches, and I don't remember what the scratches were with everyone. But I like the fact that everyone was really fun to compete with, but also, nice to each other, right? We're not back there being mean to anyone, but we're all doing the things that we need to do and staying focused. But yeah, if you needed anything, like those girls were definitely going to help you out. At the end of the competition, though, I found a shirt and one shoe in the back. And I'm like, this is extremely odd to find one shoe. So someone's going to be probably upset the next time they open their bag looking for their second shoe and it's not there. So I put it on a bench in the back and I put the t-shirt that I found near it also just on the bench. So hopefully by the end of the night, if someone opened up their bag to, like, I don't know, get snacks or something even, they'd be like, wait, I only have one shoe and I high jumped today, and look over and be like, oh, it's right there. Hopefully they found their shoe. All right, this will do it for me. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and hopefully I have a good report for next weekend for you. Bye.